Good morning, everyone. Grand Rising. It is a beautiful Monday morning, and the fall is finally hitting. I've got my little blanket out today. Oh, and instead of incense, white sage, I got a little sniffle coming on. Instead of those today, um, shout out to one of my biggest inspirations, my sister Lakshmi. um, in honor of her today, because that is where my soul is leading me in this discussion. I'm going to light some Lakshmi. And Lakshmi is meant to inspire and illuminate the mind, cleanse and purify my heart, my home, and opening doors to opportunities that will transform my life. And she is the sheer representation of what that means. And it's like I take on, every day that I take on, I do it with her in mind. She's alive still, she's alive and everything, but she is for sure one of my biggest inspirations. So shout out to my Lakshmi. I'm gonna light some Lakshmi this morning. For those of you who are new, my name is Anjali Sahadeo, and I am a shadow artist, but not for long, because I am in creative recovery. Part of my exercise today, brought to you by, yet again, a fan favorite, The Artist Away, is an exercise from this week. And at first I wasn't going to do this exercise today, but I don't know. When I took a look at it and I really put my intention in, like, let's just answer it. Let's see where it takes us. It really led me to a place that I felt like I should share with you guys. So the exercise for today was a time travel one, to list 3 old enemies of my creative self-worth. Historic monsters are the building blocks to your core negative beliefs. Kind of like my Monster Hall of Fame. Thinking about that, after reading that, I started to think about what were all of my old creative outlets, what were my old creative passions. And the first one that came to mind was I had a shoe line. Oh man, just thinking about it brings back old memories. I was so interested in making designs, shoe designs, sneaker designs. I was in my sneaker girl era, sneakerhead era. And, I remember telling my parents how much I wanted to design and how many ideas that I had. And they ended up getting me this really nice program for the computer, which at the time, like I said, this was like, man, how old was I? Probably like anywhere from 8 to 12, somewhere in that realm. So, we weren't really using computers like that back in the day. And damn, I sound old. But he got me that program, and I remember being on that thing constantly, coming up with new designs. I was watching a lot of like MTV that had similar renditions of like what I was doing. And so I was able to see like, oh, well, if you're making a sneaker design, you need to get it from all angles. You need to show the 360, what the sole is going to be like, the bottom is, the laces, the tongue, every aspect of the shoe. And I was obsessed. And I remember making a few designs, and I called it treasures at the time. Ah, man, the memories. And I just didn't I'm really sitting here trying to remember what stopped me. What was the monster that stopped me from continuing with what I was doing? Because I remember just coming to a point of not doing it anymore. And it was something that I really loved doing and something that I was really good at. And I just stopped doing it. The next thing was For those of you who know me very well, I am a very dramatic person. Since I was little, I remember my parents have a home video of our first time at Disneyland. I was no older than like 3 or 4, and I am in the park just spewing out a story that just popped into my head, and it's completely fiction. And I'm just blah 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 in such detail and such passion. I'm telling the story, and I've always been a storyteller, drawn to the drama, drawn to telling the story, portraying the story. And so when the opportunity came in, I think, elementary school to be in the school play, I was so excited. And then as I'm, recalling this memory, I never remember myself fully on stage acting a piece out. I remember being in the background, being in the choir, playing the chimes. But I don't remember being on stage. I don't know why. I'm really racking my brain trying to figure out why was that. And then the final one was university. And this was probably the last time before me and my sister started our business, which was in around 2018. Before that, that was the last time that I was creative. So probably 5 years had went by, and this was in 2013, 2014. And I remember graduating from high school, moving from New York to Atlanta to go to school for business. And I was really excited, and I just didn't think of anything else because that was what the rule was. That was the path was. My parents didn't leave room for interpretation of anything else. You graduate high school, you go to university. And I remember my first semester, I was in Atlanta by myself. My sister was still in New York. My parents were still in New York. And I would fly home every other weekend. I'm telling you, my sky miles were through the roof. I was living here by myself. I just turned 18, And for 4 or 5 months, I was by myself. And it was really lonely, especially after living with my parents and my sister every day. I didn't really know anyone here. I didn't really vibe with anybody here. I'm telling you, you're coming from New York to Atlanta. These are very different, very, very different places. And so I'd fly home as much as I could. And I remember to aiming towards Christmas. It was the end of the first semester. I remember talking to my sister and telling her, these exact words. I understand what people say when they say college isn't for them. I think I get it now. I didn't get it before, but I get it now. And feelings that I kept having were being in classes, trying to mingle, because I am a social person, trying to get along with people, trying to do my studies, and just it not clicking. It's not falling into place for me. I'm trying so hard for something that my body is rejecting, my soul is rejecting. I felt so out of place, I wasn't meant to be there. So I started drawing again, drawing my designs. I started working my way into fashion, like clothing, not shoes. And I remember how good I was doing again, to the point where I brought my sewing machine back out and I was practicing some designs. And in that moment, I realized maybe I'm not meant to be right here doing this. Taking over the family corporate businesses was not in my cards. Creativity was. And I remember really diving deep, and because foreign parents, you can't, especially Indian parents, you can't just, hey, I want to drop out of school. That's not, especially first semester, that is not a conversation to be had. So I really dived deep into research, finding articles of successful people I still have these notes in my phone, finding articles of successful people who have become millionaires and billionaires without university. Just sneaking in and attending the classes that will help them grow, but ultimately following their passion and their dreams organically. And it really resonated with me. And I know that not going to school completely was not going to be an option. So I, dug in and did my research and realized two things. I think I should go to fashion school, like a technical fashion school. The other thing was staying in Atlanta, going to SCAD, or going back home, going FIT, which I had friends who went to FIT. So it was more, and not only that, New York is my home. New York is my soul. It's my passion. It is everything. It is everything that's creative about it. Thank you. Never mind. We'll just wait for you to make your way. Mm. Thank you. We see you. We see you. But yeah, so, New York is the land of creatives, and I just was being drawn back. I mean, like I said, I was going back every other weekend. So it's like I never left, and it just helped me recenter myself back to what I felt like I was meant to do at the time. I'm a very organized OCD type person, and I put together an entire presentation to show my plan. I told them why I was feeling the way I was feeling, what I wanted to do with those feelings, and how I was going to achieve success. I made an entire speech, basically, on how it was. I had some diagrams here and there, but I made an entire speech of how that was going to plan out and how staying in Atlanta was going to, going to school for management was not the route for me. And I remember feeling so nervous about how I was, about just delivering that message in the first place. Because, like I said, foreign parents not going to school is not an option, especially for what they wanted. They came to America with little to nothing and grew a dynasty of success that they expected their children to take over. And it took for my sister to sit me down and, tell me, like, that is not our responsibility. As much as you feel bad and you really want it to be and you feel like it's your birthright, if your soul is telling you otherwise, you can't feel bad. This is not they can't, your parents can't expect you to live a life that they plan for you when you have your own life altogether. And you have to just be able to choose you in that moment as well, respectfully. But at the end of the day, you can't live for anybody else. And it took me only until recently to finally understand that. And it goes, before I get there, but the way that conversation went, I remember feeling so nervous. And afterwards, after getting it all out, I felt like a weight was lifted off my shoulder just to see the disappointment in their faces. It's like I can envision them right now, just so angry and disappointed. Because I was the first to go to college. I was the first one. And my sister, she was on her way there, and they're like, she's supposed to be the example. And I just couldn't do it. My sister was in the room when, I gave this speech, and she was like trying to, be the mind of reason along with me. Appreciate you, Luck. And they just kept saying no. They kept trying to find a way to keep me in school. Like, you can still do your design while going to school. And it's draining. It's draining to spend the majority of your day doing something that doesn't bring you any joy at all. They kept saying plan B, plan C. No, that's not what we had been planned for you. And it was such a defeating conversation that I just let the whole idea go all together. And it wasn't until I wrote down and realized what my third monster was, going to fashion school and all that stuff, to realize what the monsters of the previous two were. The shoe designs. I stopped doing that because at the time, I don't know if you remember the Simmons sisters, Angela and whatever her name was, sorry. Um, they had a sneaker line out that came out around the time I had this idea. And I probably was like kind of deep into this idea before the line came out. It was called pastries. Remember, they kind of look like they were kind of shaped like ones, and if you put the bottoms together, they showed like a pastry. So I had like the apple pie one, put the bottoms together, and they showed like an apple pie. And I just remember seeing those designs everywhere. I even bought a few and feeling like, well, damn, someone else is just going to do my idea better. Someone else is just going to make sneakers better because the sneakers I was making was in the exact same shape of these sneakers. Um, and I just gave up because I was like, well, someone is doing it better than me, more, cool than me. I can't, my unique ideas stopped happening because all I kept seeing was pastries. And same with the school play. Um, every time like I said, I've been a bigger girl my whole life up until now. And I had a lot of friends. And obviously, I was the fat, funny friend. So they were all really itty bitty minis. And every time we would have auditions, I would be like, you know what, I think I'm going to apply. I think I'm going to audition for that one. And if I knew who was auditioning as well, I just didn't audition at all. So I'm like, well, they probably sing better than me. They're probably going to be front and center like me, because people don't realize what they do to young, bigger girls. They put you in the back. They don't put you front and center. They hide you behind people. They put you're in a choir, whatever, the chorus, and they put you to the end, not front and center. And they don't realize they're doing that, but I realized that they were doing that, and it just subconsciously sat with me in every audition, every play that was happening. Like, oh, well, they're not going to pick you anyways. And that was just the core of all of my negative beliefs, even sitting here with the idea of filming my experiences in life thus far. It took me so long to get here because I kept thinking, well, someone else is going to do it better. Someone else is doing it already. When I've been thinking like that my whole life. Like, I just realized that this morning sitting here with you guys, that I've been doing that my entire life. Every idea, every original idea that I had, if someone was doing anything even similar, I would give up because, well, they're already doing it. They already have their idea. They already, and it's competition that scares me. Hence why I never really played too many sports. The only sport that I actually was on the team and fully played was golf in high school. And I was the only girl on the golf team. And my sister, she had joined, she's so involved in a lot of my stories, hence why I had to light some Lakshmi today. But she joined with me and very early realized that wasn't for her, so she left. And my bestie, Gigi, she joined with me really early, realized it wasn't for her, and she left. But I really wanted to do it. I took these really expensive golf classes and really learned my craft with this. And I was really, really good. And like I said, we were the only girls on the team. So all the guys were, they've been on the team before. They've been playing golf for a while. And I remember my first competition it was just like, not competition, but like our first like big practice where we kind of just competed like amongst whoever was on the team. I was the only girl because my sister and my friend had left me. And I didn't want to go, but I went anyways, and I beat those boys. They were shocked. They were shocked to believe that I would beat them. I beat those boys. And I felt so good. And I remember, especially because, coaches who coach mainly boys, they're very sexist. And I remember after winning, the coach had pulled me aside and he says, "You're really good. I want you to play in the competition this weekend. I want you to represent the team." I was shocked. I was like, me too. And I remember going, I said, yeah, I can do something like that. And I went back home and I told my sister and I told my best friend, and they were like, yeah, do it, do it. And guess what? I didn't do it. I did not go to that competition. I was scared of the competition. I said, yeah, I can beat the boys in my team, but can I beat the players in the city? I talked myself out of it and I didn't go. And it's something I do so much. And that right there, what did she say? Is this historic monster is the building block of my core negative beliefs. My core negative belief is competition. I feel like as if there's someone else doing it, then what's the point? And that's terrible to do. It's a terrible mindset to do, because as I tell other people in conversation, like, we are unique individuals. Every single being on this planet is different than the other. There is no one individual that is exactly the same. Not even twins are exactly the same. Not even identical twins are exactly the same. So I can't be scared away from competition when that belief came from my parents. That belief came from generational trauma. That if you're not the best, don't even bother. That you have to be the best. You have to be the only one. And really thinking about that is crazy, to see that generational trauma, because they developed their own successful businesses that were like other businesses, but they had their own twist on it, their own UVP to that, and they still became very successful. So trying to teach me and my sister that you got to be number one, you got to be in competition with everybody, was crazy to see, because I don't want to worry about the competition. I shouldn't have to worry about what someone else is doing, because it distracts me from what I need to be doing, what my purpose is there to do. And I know that now I know that I am different. I am different. Everybody is different, and I am part of that everybody. Whatever it is, whatever creativity I am to put out in the world, although someone else may be doing it, no one can do it like me. Same for you guys. If someone else is doing what you want to do, nobody can do it like you. And that is like a driving force that I need to keep front and center, because I let it get in the way. I let it block me over and over and over again. Even like I braid hair a lot, and I stop myself so many times because, well, but there's so many people that are better than me. I like to do really natural boho styles that aren't perfect. No perfect geometric squares. I just like to freeform it. And people won't pay for that. People don't want that. But there are people who do. That's a unique aspect that I have to me, as many other ones. And so with that being said, I'm glad that I took that challenge on today for myself, um, of realizing where the core negativity of my creativity comes from. The core negativity of my creativity. And that's me feeling scared what everybody else is doing. But you are you, you are one, you are unique. I am one. I am unique. I am me. And I have the power to put forth whatever it is that I want to put forth, however it is that I want to put it forth, and be successful at it, because I am me. And I'm glad I came to that realization today. And this is what I mean about the work that you put in, the actions that you put into what you want. Things will unravel in a way that will show you the light. And the leaves, dragonflies, those were big. But the leaves of negativity are clearing now, and my path is starting to widen and illuminate of where exactly I need to go and how I need to keep that path going. And the more work that I put in um, will clear that path even more to lead me to my ultimate light. And I'm so excited for this journey every day. And this is what motivates me to come out here every day and focus on myself and put in this work, because it works. It works. Consciously doing the work it takes to find your creative self, to find your well-being, your higher self, it works. You just have to do it. You want to plan all day. Believe me, I tried this for years. Oh, I gotta plan this, I gotta plan this, I gotta get this. I can't just do it just as yet. You just gotta do it. You just gotta do it. So look at me. Look at this making a mess. Lakshmi. So as I said in the beginning, my biggest inspiration in my creativity is my little sister Lak. And I'm so grateful for you, girl. I'm so grateful for you. With that being said, that is the end of today's chapter. Our morning is started and ready to go. Oh, it feels so good. It feels so much brighter today. It was bright already, but it's brighter now. So, to a bigger and brighter day next